What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel, Earn It, Save and Invest It. In this video I'm going to quickly go over my position of HIMS and whether or not I might be selling it or just kind of shortening my position a little bit. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of go over that really quick. If you like this stuff, please give a like and subscribe, I really appreciate it, and let's get into it really quick. If you have been following me at all, I have this challenge where I'm trying to take my $7,354 and turning it into $100,000, right? I started this challenge when I was already up pretty big on HIMS, and since then HIMS has kind of gone up, down, not really well anywhere. It's taken a big position, or it's just taken, it's grown to a big weight in my whole portfolio. So lately I've been thinking, should I sell it? Should I sell HIMS? Right now it's currently at 26% of my portfolio. It's almost, it's about $1,000 more than all the other, positions I have, and $1,000 in this portfolio is a big deal, right? $1,000 would be, the fourth biggest position in the portfolio. So having it be so big, and I am up just about $1,300 on it, about that, $1,300. So I'm thinking, maybe it's a little bit, maybe closer to like $1,200. Let me see. I'm up $1,300. So I'm up $1,300, and if I take, let's say, $500 of that and sell it, my cash would put me at $900. And then I'm at basically a 10% cash weighted, so that would be a lot of cash. And so you might be wondering, well, why would I have so much cash? I do think the market is going to be in for a little bit of a surprise. I'm going to kind of go over HIMS really quick, and then I'm also going to go over the market, what I think is going to happen. But yeah, HIMS, I'm kind of considering selling some of my position, maybe about $500 worth. So that's about, just about 10, 11 shares or something like that. HIMS, as you can see right now, its forward PE is 83. It's come down a little bit. The short interest, it is short. Like, there's so many people are shorting this stock. It's at 32%. But as you can see, when it comes to the analysis, a bunch of people are, buy, strong buy, it is fairly, a lot of the analysts think it's a buy. Okay, cool. November, when we look at the seasonality, November seems to be like a good month, right? 83 is the best month. September seems to be horrible, as well as October. I mean, it seems to have a lot of horrible months. It's only been, about 6 years, 5-6 years that we have numbers on this, but it doesn't have great numbers, and it just went down, in 36% this last August. Even though it went up 32% in July, it was down 36% in this last August. So it still has a potential to go down again in September, but it could also go up in September like it did last year. It was negative 30%. And then it went up 25% in September. That could happen, and then we can kind of see where it goes from there. Obviously, October's a pretty bad month as well. When it comes to revenue, as you can see, the revenue keeps going up and up and up. Earnings per share has been going up. They had one pretty big monster quarter ever since that. It went down after that, but then it's kind of been going up. The earnings estimates from the analysts, they have it just continuing to rise year over year, which is good. From the earnings, the EPS and the sales, all that, the PE, so that's good. Their growth, the revenue year over year has been about almost 90%. And their free cash flow, levered free cash flow is about 14%. Valuation obviously has a high PE, so anything that has a high PE, the valuation is just going to look not good. Profitability has a good gross profit margin. Wow, I could not get that out. 76%. Net income margin, which is 10%. It is, it's a company that deals with medical stuff, not necessarily medical devices, just medicine and medical subscriptions and stuff like that, access to medicine. So it's like, there's a little bit. I don't necessarily love HIMS in terms of I do believe it has good potential for the future and everything, but I don't use it. I definitely believe in something like a teledoc and stuff where people are doing a lot of virtual doctor appointments where AI and all these other things, these other simple devices that we might have at the house will be able to send a reading or a sample, something really quick, to a doctor. So everything will happen like that online. But in terms of where that is right now, I don't know. The momentum, obviously, HIMS compared to the S&P 500 has been it's beat it a lot, except for the last 3 months. HIMS has not been doing well. Capital structure, the market cap's just over 11 billion. The total debt is 1 billion. Cash is also about 1 billion. So, not great, obviously. Not great, but not bankrupt at all in any way, right? Don't do any dividends. It says right here. Oh, hypothetical. Okay, yeah, it's in there. The ownership, they have 12% individuals and insiders. That is something that I do not like. I do not like how much they have in insiders. The stock has gone up so much. And if it continues to go up, I think that's also what puts a lot of pressure on the stock. I mean, we can continue to watch how the percentage, how it changes, but common stock held, they have 28 million pieces of stock. If they decide to start selling a lot of their stuff because the stock has been up a lot, let's just get out now. Let's finally, let's get out. Let's move on to something else. In terms of a bunch of people that work there, have made their money there, and they're like, you know what? Now I kind of want to move on. Those people are gonna be able to really move the stock a little bit, right? It has these other companies as their peers. I don't know these companies, to be honest, so I'm not even going to try to get into that. The risk, short interest, is at 32%. They have 70 million shares short, and they have about 2 days to cover that. So that's in about 2 days, right? Right? It's Wednesday. It's not. That's very interesting. That is a lot of people shorting this stock, right? You have 70 million. Look at that. That's so much. That's 3 times as many insiders and individuals have. That's just crazy. So, anyway, HIMS, kind of thinking about selling it. At least a portion, right? I invested, let's see, right? My investment, my total change is $1,300 and the value is about $2,300. So I invested about $1,000. If I sell for $500, then I'm risking less money, right? Even though, yes, I will have less money into HIMS, and if HIMS blows up even more, okay, whatever, right? But at the same time, now I'm like, okay, now I have less money on the table for this stock. I made my profits in this. I still have money riding in it, but I'll take a little bit off the table. Long week for me, sorry. Take some money off the table, then put that into something else. I could do that. So I'm thinking I might do that. And one of the big reasons I feel like I should do that is the market might have something. Now, this is HIMS. I'll look over the chart really quick. As you can see, I like to look at HIMS a little bit. I've jotted down a few things that I've thought, and I've called it out pretty well. It's been staying in this area. I called this out. I said if once it drops, it was around here. I said once it drops into this, you should buy. And I always thought it was a buy even when it was popping up right here. I still said it was a buy. It's like midnight right now. It's 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday, but to me it's Tuesday night. So forgive my yawns. And I saw HIMS pop it on. I was like, look, every time it goes above the last peak, it also goes below it. So I feel like, okay, it boomed here, right? So it's going to have to go below it. Okay, well, now it went here, right? But it didn't really go above this, right? I would have thought, okay, it's going to go above this, and then it's going to have to dip back below it. But this didn't, to me, is not, that doesn't count, right? So it's still going to bounce around a little bit. At some point, it's going to boost at 68, and it's going to shoot over into like the 76. And it's going to bounce a little bit for a second, then it's going to come back down, and then that's just my opinion. At some point, eventually. But while it stays in this big gap of 34 and 68, that is just, now this is like its new range, right? This is its new formation of, okay, we've now broken out of this pattern, this complete pattern. Now, unless this thing just boosts out of 68 and does it again, okay, it could happen. But as of now, it seems like it might be forming a new pattern. So that's just kind of my outlook on HIMS. QQQ, I think things are going to be very interesting. These are my stocks to watch that I was saying for September. They've all kind of gone up. Palantir's even gone up, and I was saying, watch for that. It might crash. That was the only reason why I had it on my stocks to watch. So, as you can see, Fubo's up 16% since then. Hasi's up 13%. Palantir's up 7%. Molina is barely up 0.13%. So those are the ones I was saying we should watch. I'm keeping my eyes on those. But QQQ is the one that I'm saying we should really be watching because it tracks the NASDAQ. That's exactly what I was saying is going to happen. This is what I said was going to happen. And I'm going to keep all these videos are going to be on YouTube. And I hope someone sees this that like, oh, wow, yeah, he called it. And I hope I don't want to say I hope I'm right, because I never want to wish for a crash or correction. At the same time, I welcome it. Hey, I get good deals. I'm going to welcome it. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to go all the way up until we do the Jerome Powell Fed funds meeting decision. And I think they're going to cut rates, but I think they're going to be like talking about the economy in not such a good way, that the tariffs, this and I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of news leading up to, oh, we're going to get the cuts, and then we're going to get the cuts. No, like something bad's going to happen. It's just my opinion and from my experience in the stock market. Of course, it can still keep going. Like I said, since the end of 2018, right, or this part right here, since 2017. Oh no, sorry, not since this one. That was 444 days of just like complete boomage, right? It was a time between we passed a peak after kind of going through a correction, and then we had a 10% or more fall, right? So since July of 2018. It's been an average of 112 days between 10% or more corrections. Now, if we were to crash right on that day that I say, we're going to be at 84. So it's not, that's shorter than the average, right? That's definitely shorter than the average, If we're hitting the end of September into October, if we have a really bad October, now we're really starting to get, 100, 110, right? The beginning of October could be very bad, which is why I said, if this doesn't happen, if we don't crash here, if we just continue, right, I just feel like it'll be a horrible October. Anything can happen. I'm not trying to predict a apocalypse or anything crazy. I'm just predicting what I think is going to happen. I just think, it's just my predictions, but I think we're going to have a catastrophic collapse. But this is what I think. I think we're going to be in the 530s in the beginning of November. 530s for the Qs, beginning of November. Thinking about putting a hedge out. Thinking about putting some SQQQ hedge out. Buying some just to kind of see what happens. You know, maybe like 1% or so of my portfolio, which isn't much, but something, you know, $80 to $100 worth, and just kind of see, okay, if the market does what I think it's likely to do, then it would be worth doing that hedge. So yeah, quick little video. Hope you liked it. Just really quick about my position in HIMS. I'm kind of considering, you know, selling it. It's not a huge position. It's, you know, $2,300, but I started at 1,000. And it's moved up pretty quick. And so I'm trying to say, well, if I put in $1,000, I'm up now, you know, to 2,300. I take out a little bit, take a little bit of skin out of the game. $500, put that into something else. Now I only have $500 riding on it, and I'm still up 1,800. So, you know, and I really want to have some cash. So I don't want to go too hard on cash. I never want to be like ever in a mode of like, oh, I'm holding on to cash and waiting, because then you can end up having one of those monster rallies that lasts 444 days, and it just continues to go up, and that 10% correction that finally happens didn't really do anything. It would have been way better off just buying. So I don't want to be doing that. I want to be able to have my cash deployed and doing work, but at the same time, I have an eerie feeling about this Fed fund meeting. So after that, I feel like we get a little bit more clarity, and that's going to be a little bit more like I can feel more confident on putting in some more stuff and making a new position, because I definitely want to open a new position on a stock or two, but I'm being a little bit hesitant, and I don't want to try to time the market. At the same time, I guess, yeah, I am kind of trying to time them. I'm also timing it based on my cash position, right? I want to have enough cash to do it. I don't want to have too much cash. Now, if I were to sell the 500 of HIMS, that would put me at about $900. It would put me at 900, which would be at slightly over 10% cash. That's too much. I want to have around maybe 5 to 6, again, depending on how big my portfolio is. But, you know, having like between 5 and 7% is okay. So I need to deploy a little bit more cash if I'm going to sell the HIMS as well. So do I buy Fubo? Do I buy Amazon? Those are my two that I'm really looking at. Do I open up a new position in something, which I'm kind of thinking about? So anyway, thank you again for watching. Please give a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.